This is going to be a mixed media piece of oil pastel. And right now I'm just creating a background for what I would want my pie to be setting on. So this would be like the tablecloth. And I'm using markers. You could definitely use tempera. You could use acrylics. That's kind of up to you on what you prefer your background to look like. I'm just utilizing what I have at the house right now, since I forgot to bring some supplies home. Okay, so once I have this done, this is kind of done with the background. We did this in 3 class periods, I believe. We spent the first class period designing and decorating their background. We used a larger sheet of paper, but for the sake of time, I decided to do a smaller sheet. Then you're gonna take something to trace around a circle that will fit onto your paper. And this is where the tedious part comes in. Okay, so we use colored pencils to create our cherries for the cherry pie. And I told them they needed to make them all try to be a little consistent. And you don't want giant ones, but you also don't want really small ones. You want to kind of give about the size of a nickel for this piece. And I kind of have them map them out because you're also going to have the juice of the pie. So you don't have to make them all together, because if you look at the images of a cherry pie, they're not all together and you kind of are hidden by a lot of the juice. So once you kind of map out, so I'm going to show you on this one. So you're basically finding your highlights, which I'm going to use this over here as my light. So I'm going to darken these up. And this part took a little bit of time because you want them to look nice. Okay, so you're gonna do that to all of these. And once again, I'm gonna speed this up and maybe even cut out because you don't need to see all of it because it's so repetitive. Okay, at this point I have them all pretty much. I can go back in if I need to and add more or darken them up. Now I'm going to take oil pastels, and I wish I would have brought the brown because it would have been a little bit better, but I'm just going around the outside to kind of figure out where exactly I need to go. And then you're going to go around your cherries with the oil pastel. And fill it in with the red first. Once again, I'm gonna speed this up to where you're not having to sit here and watch me do this the entire time. Okay, once you get your red done, then you'll go in with your brown probably, or I told him just to do a little bit of black around just to give the depth. And once again, I'm just barely touching the paper with the black because the black's gonna go a long way. I would also have your students do more cherries than what I did. I'm just kind of in a hurry today, trying to get stuff done. So I would have them do more than this. So all I'm doing is going through and adding some black all over and then back in with the red on top of it and blend. So you're going back over the areas of the black with the red to blend. And you can even add more if need be. I always tell them you can add, but you can't subtract really. So go light at first, and then you can always add more black if you need to. I'm going to keep doing this until this is all finished, and then I will show you the next step. I'm going to fast forward through this though, so you don't have to really watch. Okay, at this point, I'm gonna take my white oil pastel and just hit some highlights of where you may think they want. You could also use tempera or some paint. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my foil and I'm gonna cut this out. And then you're gonna wanna glue it onto the foil. Once it's glued on, I'm gonna cut this off or trim it, but I'm leaving some of the silver behind because I want it to show through. Now, one of my students took these scrap pieces and made like crumbled it like this to make an edging around it, to make it more three-dimensional if you wanted to. That's completely up to you on how you want to do that. And then you're gonna take your brown piece of paper. All right, once I have my lattice glued down, I'm then gonna carefully trim the edges around the sides. And then I'm gonna add the glue to the back side here. And glue this down. And then you can take a brown oil pastel, but of course I didn't bring one, but I'm going to use this color pencil instead, just to add some dimension. So I told them to add a little bit of brown around the edges, just to make it look like it's been cooked. And it doesn't have to be perfect. But you want it to look like the crust has a little bit of value on it. And it kind of makes your weaving pop a little bit. And there you go. And as I said before, you may want to have them do a little more cherries so they stick through a little bit more. But hope you enjoy. Let me know if you try this project. Please tag me because I'd love to see your students' artwork.